Good afternoon. So, I've got a sock started here, a yoga sock. I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm a little bamboozled over one part. It's either gonna work or it's not. If it works, it's gonna be really awesome. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to put some brain power into it, I guess, to figure it out. So, first things first, though, this is a sock I made day before yesterday. It's a pretty awesome sock. It was completely finished. I've already started ripping it out. Um, yeah, so the problem was, and if anybody watches my Instagram stories, I had a good laugh over my pointy heel, my ridiculous pointy heel. So I used the rest of this yarn to make a second pair of socks. They worked out, all's good. So this and this, I already rewound the rest of the other sock, and that's what this is. But I still have a whole sock. So my hope is honestly, I'm very close to finishing this one here, and I'm going to knit a yoga sock, which is essentially a sock with a less pointy heel, and I'm gonna probably cut it off about there. And my idea is to do a hung hem here, so there's a bit of an edge. Um, and honestly, I'm gonna see how that goes, but that gives me the option that if I really wanted to, I could put in a little piece of elastic, tuck it in the hem, and nobody would really know, and that would just kind of keep it snug around the foot. So that's my plan B if it's not snug enough initially. So what we need to do with this before anything is take out this Kitchener stitch. So these socks are knit from the cuff. You knit around the heel, you knit down the foot, you knit around the toe, and then you cast off around this zone. And then what you have to do is Kitchener your stitches, your active stitches together to meet up the top of the foot. Sorry, too busy looking at what I'm doing. Okay. And then it closes the foot. So this one's about halfway ripped out. So you can see by sewing this up before, but I do that before the waste yarn comes out. So it's all secure. There's nothing dangerous about it. But I basically sew up this seam. And since this sock did not work out, I'm going to repurpose the yarn. I thought about framing it, honestly, because it was my first sock, and oh my god, we had such a laugh over that heel. Oh, it looked so ridiculous. Like, it's not even passable. And I thought about, I really did think about trying to fix it, but when I thought about trying to fix it, I thought that's going to take more time, energy, and effort to try to fix this silly heel. Like, well, I don't even know what I would do to get rid of this much fabric. So, without it being kind of bulky on the heel, right? You don't want a seam like that right on your heel. So, I didn't want them to go to waste, because what ends up happening is if they're not right, they languish in the drawers and they never actually get worn. So I have one pair of socks I did a long time ago, and they are made out of a kind of unfortunate material. I won't specify, but they're kind of just awful. They don't wear very nicely. They don't feel very good on my feet. So I put all that effort in. Those were hand knit. I put all that effort into making them, and now they're the very last ones that I wear in my sock drawer. We're just about there. And then it'll get a tad more exciting. I suppose I'll have to move the camera a little bit. My video skills are absolutely god awful, so I'm really sorry for my amateur skills. I am an expert knitter. I am a very amateur video personality. So you'll just have to forgive me. But you know what? I've had, especially in the last week or so with getting this machine, I really had my inbox blow up with people asking what I'm doing, what it is. I've had so many messages. And I don't mind answering them. It's just I feel like for me, I need to do things the most efficient way possible. And I feel like putting a video out so that everybody can actually see what I'm doing is probably the best way. And I think I'll learn as I go, which will be interesting. So there'll be mistakes. There'll be, I don't even know what's going to happen because most of the time when I shoot these videos, I'm at home alone with my toddler. So anything at all could happen. And we're potty training, so there may be some accidents. And he may come running in here telling me he has to go pee, so anything goes. And we'll just develop as we go along. Okay, we almost have this Kitchener out. I should probably. He's not well today. That's why I'm actually home today. I wouldn't normally be home on a Monday. And he wouldn't normally be this quiet. But he's just under the weather, so. Okay, we're almost here. I'm going to get that out. And this out. And that out. We're so close, people. So close. Okay. Nope, not yet. Okay. I think. Nope. Whoa. Come on, man. This is. One more? Okay. So this has got to be the last one. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, last stitch. Not the last pull, though. Okay. Okay, we're nearly there, people. Okay, here we go. Okay. Where we go? Come on. There we go. There we go. It's just tight, usually the first few. I should watch where my hands are going. And now I can pull it up. Just get past the first little bit. And we can pull. Okay, so that's awesome. But I can tell you from experience that just ripping something out like that is super messy. Because you will end up with the biggest nest of yarn you ever saw. And not to mention the time it takes to wind that much yarn is just, forget it. Okay, so what I am going to do, I have to reposition here so you can see what's happening. Okay, so now I'm going to get snagged because it happens every time. So I like the one of my goals, I guess, with doing the YouTube channel is I like to stay transparent and realistic. So, yeah, I'm keeping it real. So, if mistakes happen, they happen. Okay, so let's do this. So I got my ball winder, and I got my unraveling sock in the yarn bowl. But I'm going to hold it too, because sometimes it jumps around. And I can use the eyelet of the yarn bowl to feed my yarn. And this is, oops, we're snagged. As I was about to say, that this is the quickest way to unravel a garment. And that's what's happening here. I should also mention, little warning in case children are watching this, I'm going to swear, basically. There is the Fuck This Knit podcast that I listen to weekly, or bi-weekly, I guess I should say. And they are currently running Frog It Along. And I'm going to enter this disaster into the Frog It Along. Which basically means that they want you to unravel your shit. So that's what I'm doing. I have other stuff to unravel too. So don't be worried. I have bigger fish to fry than this sock. Unraveling sock. It's slowly disappearing. My cable is shaking. Oh, we're tight. We're tight. What's happening? And we're tight again. Oh, it's because it's unknitting the hem. Okay. What are we snagged on? It's anybody's guess here. What's happening? Oh, yeah. This is a fully finished sock. So this had the ends woven in and everything. So there we go. Almost have nothing left here. Oh, we got and one last little bit here. Like magic, I made the sock disappear. Ta-da! Cool. So now it's ideal for the knitting machine to knit off of a comb. Let me just move this. I don't have a comb winder. Sorry. I don't have a comb winder. So what I do is I have an empty cone. So whatever yarn I'm working with at the time, I knit. I might have to rewind this, but I'll just put it in the yarn bowl if worst comes to worst. Okay, but I basically do that. Woohoo! It's on a cone. It doesn't really work as well. It's an improvisation. So the bulk I'll knit off of the cone, and this won't take long because there's really not much there. But once this gets down to a certain size, it's going to go in the yarn bowl, which is still an improvisation. It doesn't work quite as well as having it wound on a cone properly. I'm going to work on some solutions for that because I don't know, the cone winders are just a little bit steep right now, and I have I have 2 Swifts and I already have a cake winder. At what point is enough? I think if I bring any more knitting paraphernalia into this house, I might get kicked out of it. So anyway, now we have yarn for this, so that's cool. Let's finish the sock, and I gotta kind of figure out where it was. Oh, we still have a few yards to go on this, and I'm guessing because I'm making this up as I go along. I'm following the heel tab no-show pattern by Sue Vanesky from what looks like Missouri, but I am no good with state abbreviations. So this is her pattern. So essentially what I'm going to do is not knit the toe and hem it at the end so that it's shorter. You have to Google what a yoga sock is if you don't know what I'm talking about. And I didn't look for a pattern, but I didn't see a pattern either in my venture, so this is an easy modification, really. I would call this a pattern modification. So let's just see. So I have to do a little bit of guesswork. So I have another inch to knit. And I'm just gonna knit a couple more rows because I don't want to waste. This whole business venture is an experiment to me. I do only know a few little things, but one of the things I do know is that I do want to be as conscious of waste here as I possibly can. Hence, unknitting those socks and re-knitting them. Here we go. Right into the machine. And it's actually so convenient. That's amazing. We're actually ending on the same color that this is starting with. I mean, it's the same yarn, but it varies, so it's actually just coincidence. Joey, are you doing okay? Are you just laying on the couch? Yeah? What are you watching? Okay. He's good. He's just resting. Okay, so we are good to go here, I think. Okay, so we need to make a couple of stitches. Oops. Okay, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. And now put my heel spring back on. And see, this does get kind of hung up, so like I said, it's not ideal. But as long as you watch it, it's working well enough, I suppose. Normally I would have a weight on. I don't because I'm not good at eyeballing this yet, so I need to keep measuring. Ouch. I can't see. Okay. So we are going there. So that's 5 inches. I know you can't see it. I'm horrible. I promise you, it's 5. From where my point is at my heel that I want to go to. So these are, like I said, total experiment here. They're for my mother. So she'll love them no matter what because they're for me. Okay, so that's this sock done. It's really unfortunate I didn't have enough yarn in the first ball. I hope I have enough in the second ball for the second sock. Okay, so now I need to hang a hem. How am I going to do that? Okay. Well, what I could do... Sorry, my brain is like... Can you hear me? Alright, well, I'm going to just measure these stripes here and see, because I kind of want to take, I want to have a good hem with it. You don't want to have a bad hem. You want a good hem. So we're going to go for like a 2-incher. Okay, I can do that. 2.5. Do a 2. Okay, that would work probably better, just because it falls right on the edge of a stripe. So we have to follow this line down so that I make sure to pick up the right stitch, because we need stitch number 1 on stitch number 1. Okay, that's stitch number 2 is always a little tricky because it falls beside stitch number 1, which you have to kind of pull. I might have gone a little too far here. Okay. Aha. Yep. Okay. There's 1 and 2. I actually pulled on 1 so hard that I made the number 2 stitch kind of sink in, which makes it really hard to see. So we're back on track now. I just have to make sure I don't move rows here, because then we're gonna have a twisty hem. That's no good. So basically what I'm done is now I'm turning the knitting up on itself, and I am I wonder how this is gonna work. This is gonna be interesting. I don't think this is gonna turn out the way I think it is. So I'll probably finish this one and then take it off the machine and see how it turned out instead of knitting the second one right back to back. Oh yeah, I gotta like, I don't know what time it is. Probably have to make dinner soon. Or thinking about making dinner soon. Yep, we're just gonna see how this pans out here. This part's kind of like watching paint dry, and I apologize for that. It's just a bit tedious, and it's kind of hard for me to host. That was my dog. She's a weirdo. She woke up and kind of spazzed out. I'm gonna cut these because they're just gonna be a tangly mess and get in my way. So huzzah. Bye bye. Those were the tails from when I switched the yarn color, or not the color, but the ball. Mm-hmm. This is being so tight. It's okay. Alrighty. We're gonna get ready to crank forward a little bit so that we have more needles available to mount this hem on. And you're gonna see some serious thinking because I'm really taking this one step at a time, and now the next step is kind of approaching, and I still am not 100% sure how it's gonna go. I think I'm gonna have to what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to cast it off somehow. So maybe I can sew it before I pull out the waste yarn, because otherwise it will unravel. I didn't think it through. I mean, it'll still, I mean, in theory, it'll still work. Okay, now our needles are below, oops, God, are getting below our cylinder here. Oops. Okay. So I'm gonna have to do a pinch and pull. I'm sure it'll look okay, but I don't know. Looks and function are two completely different things. Okay, and now I can pull down on that. And I really just want to knit this first row and then cast off right here. I don't want any more fabric than that. Okay. So, you know, at this point here, these needles kind of go down. Well, they do go down. into the cylinder, so you can't hang, like, this is like sealed. So I can't hang stuff on those needles. So that's why I have to advance the crank a little bit so that the needles that are below the cylinder are in this part that I've already hung. And then it allows me to hang the rest of these needles. So everything has to be done in sort of a two-step process. I just hope these work out. Someone's getting mail. I live in a bit of a one-horse town, and so neighborhood watch over here. I just don't know why this seems so tight, but oh, I did tighten the tension a little bit. That was because I wanted it to fit tighter around the foot. See, it's a toeless sock. It's just that it's getting exceedingly harder to see the stitch in which I try to pick. There we go. That's the last one. Okay. So let's just try to do a squeeze here. I literally want to do, probably make sure my latches are open. I'm going to drop a stitch and, oops, that was the buckle. And then you might hear a curse word. Okay. I have to I'm gonna leave a chunk because I'm probably gonna have to sew this shut. Okay. And now we need to switch to scrap yarn. Hello. What are you doing?